So if you just, kind of in your own words, what are our development goals for this new line?
Well, that's what we actually start with, Mark. The goals for the overall program. First we a goal of optimizing and preserving health. That's number one, so that it integrates with everything else we're trying to do. Number two, to create a seamless program that addresses all the challenges of exercise at all levels, be it a 2-hour rigorous workout, power lifter, or a not so rigorous quick noontime visit to the gym by a soccer mom trying to get a workout in as time allows. So, and thirdly, the overreaching goal is to complement the existing products, including ID Nutrition, and accentuating safety and science.
Well, let's talk about, go ahead.
Yeah, that's kind of the overreaching umbrella. Everything we do works under those goals, and of course that's what we do to coordinate all of our product development within the company.
Well, let's talk specifically about each one of the products. For instance, what was kind of the goal behind Hydrate?
Well, we wanted to, number one is to recognize that it's critical to start and end each day with water, as your body is losing water during the day and night via respiration and even urination if it's not perspiring during exercise. So it's not just through exercise that people are losing water. And we can lose massive amount of fluids and electrolytes during exercise. It's just 20% depletion of our water stores can negatively impact our performance by up to 50%. So that's one goal, to recognize it's critical to start your day with fluids. Two, to provide nutrients and minerals that help prevent dehydration, promote rehydration, and prevent dysregulation of muscle and nervous system. Where the muscle contraction, cramping can occur just walking or moderate exercise. Number three, electrolytes sufficient without additional to assure both mineral and water uptake in and around the cell. So that a lot of people will provide some sodium, potassium, some calcium, but not have the other adding nutrients that help nutrients into the cells. Fourth, to acknowledge that other minerals lost during perspiration, not just electrolytes, may negatively impact the immune system, kidney function, regulation, and even potential lactic acid accumulation. This is where we're really different, Mark, from everybody else who are trying to look at all the body systems, the antioxidant levels, immune system, kidney function, etc., to make sure it all integrates and fits with each other. So,
and I'll tell you, I'm getting like, hey Paul, real quick, I'm getting like 20 texts from everyone that happens to have my cell number saying that there's some bad feedback on the line. We're doing what we can to correct that, folks. So no need to text anymore. I got the message. We're trying to get that fixed. Let's one of the things, obviously, with 75% of the people walking around dehydrated, that was obviously a key goal of ours. But if you could kind of compare what we've created here at IDLife as far as the hydration formula that we have to offer versus some of the other things that may be on the market for purposes of hydration.
Well, do you want to show that chart, Mark? I'm not seeing I don't have your slide deck.
Sure. I can advance forward and we can go over to hydrate. How about that right there?
I'll have to do it on my screen. I apologize, everybody, for the kind of communication difficulties here. Well, what we did then is we took the goals. We call them, of course, in this chart, concerns, and these are some of the information we presented at ID Revolution, where we really listed then all of these goals that we have, the supporting muscle function, reducing, eliminating cramping, listed all of those specific goals, and then we went through each ingredient to try to decide, looking at the competition, looking at the science, and I'm going to talk about that in a second under the formulating process, how to add these nutrients to meet all those goals. So that chart that we're supplying there under hydrate and concerns with the sodium, potassium, magnesium, to the vitamins is really listing what concerns we have and what science really serves that particular function to meet that particular benefit. So I don't know if you want me to go through every one of these, Mark, but I think it's up there for everybody to see. It's pretty nice, kind of visual chart. Did I lose you?
I want to make sure everyone understands with regard to the quality control protocols and procedures that we follow at IDLife. This is one of the other things that we talked about during Revolution, and it's a key import with regard to what makes us different. You know, one of the things is we start out with the raw materials, only gathering the raw materials from select sources that are all independently verified as well as blindly investigated to make sure of their efficacy as well as their purity. And when those raw materials come into our manufacturing plants, they're immediately placed into a quarantine procedure. That quarantine is allowing the lab to test them for heavy metals, pesticides, efficacy, as well as quality internally, but also to get independent third-party testing to make sure of the same exact things. So then we compare the analysis of both of them, and once that information is compared and it is approved, then it goes into the manufacturing process. That manufacturing is in single vat systems, and once it is processed and all the way through the manufacturing, then it goes into quarantine again. So all those tests that were done initially on the raw materials can be done again. And once those tests come back, the heavy metals, the pesticide, everything is done again, and we get the certificate of analysis on everything to show that it's exactly what it's supposed to be at the quality level that it's supposed to be. Then it's shipped to us. And once it arrives at IDLife, we blindly test a third time just to make sure that everything is working the way that it's supposed to. So I just wanted to make sure everyone understood what our quality control procedures were and what we followed. Paul, did we get you back?
Yes, I'm back.
All right, good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next thing. Paul, you were talking about hydrate, and you were talking about some of the items in the concerns list on the sheet. If you can continue on that, please.
Okay. Yeah, we wanted to kind of visually portray what the concerns were, the goals, the everything from supporting muscle function, reducing cramping, nerve function, which is so important for the electrolytes to be present to do that. In absence of that, of course, you end up with neural damage, kidney problems, and other things. Supporting endurance, maintaining performance. So we put kind of a chart across there to make it visually easy for people to kind of ascertain what minerals and what electrolytes are good for what function. And then maintaining blood sugar levels, which is an overall arching goal here. Then to promote mineral transport. So we talked about having the electrolytes available in the goals, but really wanted to assure what we call electrolyte transport uptake. So the B complexes, the thiamine and riboflavin in particular, taurine and MCTs, which are medium chain triglycerides, are put in there for that reason, as well as to protect cellular electrolyte retention, because that helps really retain the electrolytes in the cells when it's in there during these kind of heavy times of exertion. And next would be the reduced lactic acid level, and the other, taurine, is just a powerful nutrient, is able to help draw the electrolytes into the cell, as well as cardiovascular health and reduce oxidative stress. So these are all kind of so it's just not the electrolytes, it's not just about cramping and muscle function, it's all of these other benefits that we look for, seek out, and add proper nutrients to attain the goals. Can you hear me, Mark?
And Paul, one of the questions, yeah, I can hear you, I'm here. One of the things I wanted to make sure that you got a chance to answer was the question that I had asked right before your phone dropped off the last time, which is what makes our hydrates different than what else is available right now in this same category?
Well, it is these additional ingredients that I've spoken. You know, most everybody just has a lot of sodium, potassium, maybe magnesium, seldom calcium. Calcium in, it's up to 80% of the serum calcium is lost, especially in young people between, say, 15 and 25, when the bones are starting to attain a critical mass. In sweat, they lose 80 to 90% of the calcium, serum calcium, and if that's not replaced, guess where the body seeks then the calcium is, instead of putting it in the bones, it's drawing out of the bones. So that's why adding calcium is so important to help rehydrate. The chromium, again, is seldom added to these products, and that's the ingredients we're using to help preserve the sugar levels. And then coconut water and taurine, again, are additional ingredients to help to push those electrolytes into the cell that are seldom available in other
Paul,
competing.
did I lose you again?
I hear you.
I'm sorry, folks. Paul's trying to call in from on the road. There you are. Now I can hear you.
Okay.
In the shop.
So then the coconut water and taurine are ingredients, they say, that we put in to push those electrolytes into the cell. And you don't see those in many competing products either because of the kind of additional cost.
Okay, well, let's talk about our pre-workout formula a little bit. Obviously, what was kind of the goal there, if you would, generally, Paul, about the pre-workout?
Well, the pre-workout goal was just for the inclusion of all nutrients that will bring strength and endurance. If we can remember the two keywords to help set that extra rep, that last half mile to reach your daily goal, personal best. To provide, number two, to provide sufficient protein, support nutrients intake to overcome the challenge of muscle generation, but also preservation, the repair and prevention of tissue damage. Number three is to recognize that mineral loss during workouts be limited to electrolytes. You have other minerals that are lost, replacing. Mark is where, again, ID Nutrition and IDLife kind of has a broader reach as far as preserving health and blood vessel health that must be attended to, as well as nitric oxide levels to your vessels. Your blood vessels will dilate, so the blood flows more freely during exercise. And then lastly, that athletic performance is partially reliant on the right nutrients being available precisely as they're needed. So if digestive issues prevent the breakdown of essential proteins, we're adding proteins to make sure that, that the nutrients are able to be broken down, to make sure that they're broken down and then to meet the high energy demands of each. So that's and then lastly, the goal was really about developing muscle and endurance, kind of vigorous exercise, combined to preserve the immune system, the vascular system, bone health. It's all about strength and endurance, but it's also about maintaining immune health and bone health.
Let's go into the same thing that we did with the hydrate. Let's talk about the specific areas that we were trying to address on the same chart. And obviously, this chart is much longer because of the ingredient list, so I've kind of cut it in half. Let's talk about the first half of the ingredients, and then we'll go into the second half of the ingredients.
Okay, the D-ribose, the creatine, and the glycine, in fact, probably most of the ingredients in that first chart across the top would be used for energy maintenance and for lean muscle. We also wanted to maximize muscle performance. So D-ribose, glycine, beta-alanine, all of those are added. And by the way, Mark, is you see across the chart the methyl B12 and the 5-methylfolate. That's that same expensive coenzyme form of vitamin B12 and folic acid that we use in all of our ID nutrition products. So we're bringing that same discipline to the performance line, bringing that more expensive form, that more bioavailable form of B12 and 5-methylfolate. And you can see that they're very important for everything from the energy maintenance, muscle performance, maintaining nerve circulation, and then all the way down to heart health and promoting muscle metabolism. And then over, we have the amino acids, which would come from proteins, but they're isolated amino acids. The L-arginine, the L-citrulline, and BCAAs, branched chain amino acids, the valine and the isoleucine. So there's amino acids here, drive energy maintenance, drive muscle preservation. You can see down there dilation of blood flow. There's the L-arginine and the L-citrulline. Some products will have L-arginine, but rarely do they have L-citrulline. So they both kind of combine and feed off, one being the precursor, and then they both maintain muscle health. The branched chain amino acids, of course, are present to do the energy maintenance, and there are some nutrients on the next help drive those into the cells, the competitive products. So could you go to the next page?
There you go.
Okay, here, the biotin, for example, is a complex that we use to push those branched chain amino acids into the cells as preserve muscle preservation. We have additional electrolytes. And Mark, we add these other electrolytes. You say, well, why do you need the hydration? Well, we know the hydration can be used any time of day, that whether you're working out or not. But with the pre-workout, these ingredients are probably going to be used up or or perspired during the workout. Prep the body with a little bit higher levels of these electrolytes. Zinc, zinc, of course, we talked about the immune system and an antioxidant type benefit, as well as improving tissue and muscle performance, because zinc is used not only as a kind of an analog to antioxidants, but it also helps repair tissue and keep the immune function up. And you see that in various cold medications. Well, we're adding it here to preserve, say, tissue repair in a pre-workout form. And in minimizing blood sugar increase, of course, the chromium. And then when I talked about the goals of the digestion, saying if we have all these nutrients present, how do we assure that these nutrients are being digested? Of course, adding bromelain and papain, which would be from pineapple, and they're not only a good kind of proteolytic enzyme that helps in digestion, but they also improve tissue repair and to some extent have also an anti-inflammatory activity. And then we talked about bioperin. We've added that at key places throughout the product line. That helps also in the digestion, enhancing digestion. Of course, we're using it in a lean product. It also creates a little bit of metabolic increase and thermogenesis. And then we're using not just caffeine, but the SR caffeine is for energy maintenance, muscle performance, but a sustained release. Give you that big boost of caffeine that other products might, that you burn off in the first half hour. It makes you real wired, but we give you kind of a slow release caffeine that helps you accelerate your metabolism, but it's really about elongating the workout and keeping full strength throughout instead of just kind of burning out in the first half hour, 45 minutes.
Okay, and Paul, I'm obviously getting a lot of texts from folks because we're having some audio difficulties. Please make sure, if you would, on your end, Paul, that your computer is on complete mute. They're saying they're getting some feedback. It sounds like from your phone and your computer. So maybe if you just make sure that thing's all the way down, we can get rid of some of these audio issues that we're running into.
I do have it all the way down. I'm sorry for that.
That's okay. All right. Well, let's move over to the next one, post-workout. And what was the kind of the goal behind the post-workout formula to complement the pre-workout formula?
Well, the post-workout goal is really to really provide nutrition that is given within the first 45 minutes after finishing your exercise to maximize muscle repair, boost muscle recovery, and build more muscle. So if you miss that time window, fail to address your body's nutrition needs, you don't want the gains you've made during the work loss. Secondly, we really want the person to be able to rest and know that each nutritional component, without which increased risk of breakdown of muscle, which would lead to injury. We want to prevent DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness, or even muscle loss. Next would really account for mineral loss after workouts via sweating and excretion. Again, not limited to sites that are lost dehydration, those that address the bone density, sugar control, antioxidant level. And Mark, I hope people kind of see this pattern, that we're not only, this is about maximizing the workout, but also, and the recovery, but preventing other times of antioxidant loss, improve healing, and improve cellular metabolism. So and then provide the nutritional components used in the cell to make energy, if not available, and the functions that we don't consciously control, such as our heart, our muscles, cell repairing, and even restoration of our brain's energy will not be optimized. We have nutrients in there for that. So that would be, those were the goals of the post-workout formula, Mark.
Okay, well, let's go into the concerns and what and how we addressed each one of those.
Okay, as you can see, the pattern from the early list of ingredients, goes to creatine, that these, and we had in the we have a little bit in here, but at a smaller amount. And this is really aimed at enhancing recovery, speeding muscle recovery, promoting nerve cell health, talking to the D-ribose, shortening recovery between workouts. Because some people might work out again later in the day, or they might be doing 2 or 3 sets, want to rest for a while, and then be able to go back and have another workout. So to absolutely shorten the recovery between workouts. You can see that all the nutrients across the bottom are promoting cardiovascular health. We've added quercetin. CoQ10 you rarely see in any type of post-workout, in fact, any kind of workout product, because it's so important for antioxidant support, for reduce of risk of upper respiratory infection. This is after you have your workout. Why it's so important that the post-workout carry antioxidants. Quercetin is also a very powerful antioxidant that helps, say, reduce respiratory infection or problems, enhances recovery. And quercetin also gives kind of it's an energy source in its own because of the reduction of oxidative stress during a workout. We have the various nerve health and recovery for the methyl B12 plate. And we also found that the methyl B12 helps convert the branched chain amino acids to energy. We have the medium chain triglycerides, again, to prevent that lactic acid buildup, to maximize the electrolyte uptake. L-glutamine, that helps against respiratory infection, speeds muscle recovery. All of these things overlap And taurine, of course, is my favorite for not only antioxidant support, but also for preventing muscle breakdown and speeding recovery. So I think that when people sometimes are asking, why is there no minor amount of protein here at the end, post-recovery, and of course we say we have a very fine protein shake if they want a real concentrated protein drink, but we are also supplying here, you can't forget these other isolated amino acids that come from protein that are targeted for particular benefits here in the post-workout period.
Well, let's look at some of the other ingredients and how we address those.
Okay, again, we're putting some of the electrolytes back in. We said that we know possibly off. We have the branched chain amino acids. Again, here's another source of acids from protein, helping prevent across the bottom. Of course, every one of your electrolytes also promote cardiovascular health. The zinc, again, for preventing upper respiratory infection. We know how we said in the pre-workout, we're trying to prevent a kind of immune breakdown, so that's why we put the zinc here as well. Chromium, again, for controlling blood sugar. Again, we're adding this thread of extra support for digestion. Caffeine for reduced inflammation with the enzymes as well as the improved digestion. And then again, to help with the thermogenic effect of digestion, making sure that all of these nutrients, particularly the amino acids, are able to be broken down. Vitamin C added for antioxidant support, particularly if it's an endurance event or you've worked out long and hard, your vitamin C levels are often exhausted. So we're putting vitamin C back in for preventing this upper respiratory difficulties, enhancing recovery.
Move on to what has become what I would classify as the most interesting new product in the line, and that is lean. Obviously, we're having to curb a lot of claims associated with lean. That people are having some amazing results, and we're happy to hear that people are not possible. I mean, I saw one on Facebook. Somebody said they lost 12 pounds in 3 days, and my reaction to that person was, go drink some hydrate, because obviously you're dehydrated. But Paul, if you would, kind of talk a little bit about what the goal was with lean and how we about trying to develop this particular product.
Well, Mark, we have be kind of a product that can be used any time of day, even on days not working. Generally, we're focusing on muscle gain and weight loss during exercise. The risk of loss of immune strength for training events, endurance events, enhanced incidence of threats of infections. We also were got the retention of lean muscle. We wanted to be able to supply of amino acids to accomplish that. We did have a little bit of electrolyte replacement here as well, because if somebody's not working out but maybe mowing the lawn or going for a brisk walk or jog, that sometimes they would be excessive sweating, especially in the summer or in hot climates, would lose electrolytes. So we wanted to address that. That was a goal, that we wanted to prevent the depletion, even when somebody's not taking the hydration product, to prevent muscle fatigue and muscle cramping and kind of reduced regulation of the nervous system. We wanted to maintain, be sure heart and blood vessel health was maintained. Oxide levels were allowed the vessels to dilate. And then, as well as maintaining lean muscle, also want to maintaining sugar control. And we felt that we've seen studies about how L-glutamine and even L-tyrosine to a less extent help with some people have excessive, not only have sugar control problems during workouts, but even when during normal everyday life have these sugar cravings, kind of insulin levels going up and down. We wanted to really control the carbohydrate craving, sugar craving, to keep people from eating carbs, processed carbs that's going to weight back on or put at least have an ingestion of too many calories, possibly processed foods. Certainly with sugar would not be a healthy option. So we wanted to add ingredients that would really help reduce the carb and sugar craving. And we also have seen a study where there's for people that gain weight, have weight management challenges, we've seen that over 30% of them defective DRD2 gene that we use. Tyrosine helps push dopamine to help replace that, and that has a lot to do with stress eating and craving. So to get rid of the sugar craving, the carb craving, the stress eating, we felt that these added ingredients would help, as well as the betaine, the black pepper. We really wanted to be thermogenic and have be able to accelerate the metabolism to maintain lean muscle, and also really push the neurotransmitters so people feel energetic to go out and just get through the day's workload and chores, even if it's not working out.
Okay, well let's look into some of the specifics on the chart with regard to some of the things that we were trying to address with each one of the ingredients.
Right, we talked about the muscle breakdown. Of course, the leucine, the isoleucine, the valine, all of these amino acids, L-arginine, are all amino acids that come from proteins and have to do with muscle breakdown, tissue damage. Again, we're looking out for immune degradation with the L-glutamine, L-arginine. L-arginine further down also helping with vasodilation, as I said, supplying more blood to the muscles or to the heart, whenever it's needed. That's why we check off heart health. The other kind of combination, or the benefits from the combination of branched-chain amino acids, are increased lean body mass, and that's an early concern and goal of ours, as stated, even by the name of the product, reducing the muscle contraction. So, and then moving out into amino acids help metabolism decline. We talked about accelerating the metabolic rate, keeping it up, giving people energy without the caffeine, by the way. As you well know, this doesn't have any caffeine in it. So we have supplying some base amino electrolytes over there again, magnesium, potassium, that you would need even when not working out. I've seen articles where the health professionals worry in the United States that we have such low calcium intake, and it's really not as big a problem as magnesium intake. And potassium is not far behind because of our lack of eating vegetables and raw foods that contain magnesium and potassium. So those, of course, have a lot of benefits, not just for the muscles, but also for cramping, for heart health. Further down, they help with mental focus, mood, clarity. Of course, we know that also the magnesium helps with healthy sleep. And the magnesium in ID nutrition for people under heavy stress, we do replace magnesium because that's burned off during stress. So people's stressful daily activities, these nutrients are being resupplied. And then the L-tyrosine being an amino acid that pushes dopamine. It's very healthy for the thyroid, to help accelerate metabolism. By pushing dopamine and norepinephrine and epinephrine, all the neurotransmitters that give us mental energy, takes care of the neurotransmitter depletion, as we see there. It cuts the carb craving, as well as the L-glutamine. I forgot to mention that over in the fourth column. But L-tyrosine will help maintain thermogenesis, mental clarity, and, of course, help overcome mental stress. In fact, when you hear about things with adrenal burnout, L-tyrosine is used a lot as a nutrient to help replace some of the adrenals. And then lastly, bioperin, it's a pepper type extract. It's useful for fatigue, electrolyte cramping, digestive issues. I said it really helps break down those amino acids in itself because it conducts heat. It's a thermogenetic product, has thermogenesis properties, helps with mental and mood and clarity, and of course really helps digestion and ingredient absorption. So as you can see, it looks like this is not a shotgun approach, Mark. This is specific nutrients that we have looked at during the formulation process that I'm not sure I have enough time to go over this time. If you want me to, we do have it on the topic that really help these things that are needed, find the science behind the nutrients that perform those duties, and then find other nutrients that complement. And then in other cases, find nutrients that might be precursors, like I said back with the L-citrulline and the L-arginine in a post-workout formula. So that would be, those would be all the ingredients there on the lean. And I can address the kind of formulation process if you think we have.
Yeah, why don't you go through that real quick? Obviously, I want to be respectful of people's time. If you can, just a couple of minutes, just kind of explain the formulation process real quick, and just for everyone that is on the call, giving you is invaluable. And one of the things we're going to make sure we get done this week is Paul and I will get back together at some point, and we'll try to redo this audio and we'll get for you as soon as we can. But those that are here, if you could just explain that formulation process for them.
Okay, well, we can post these in some form for them, as you say, Mark, after we kind of later in the week. But first part of the formulation process would be to review the goals. And then secondly, to define product specifications, which could include things like the purpose of the product, customers buy this product, doing. We charted all the top selling in sports nutrition as to what ingredients they're using, as well as their marketing claim. We next decide what dosage forms, tablet, capsule, liquid, chewable. In this case, we used a powder blend and a convenient delivery system, capsule for lean. Get the active ingredients that are desired. I went through all those already. Next, will the product be sold outside the United States? Countries have specific regulations regarding ingredient levels. Are required or prohibited? Does it complement or interfere? We don't want ingredients in here that might interact with something that you're doing at ID Nutrition. That's why it's so important to integrate all of our products together. The third step is what benefits are required. And I went through that with you, but I did say we start with the science. Viewed all the medical literature, but also a lot of the sports nutrition periodicals. I've listed them here. I'll only name a few: the Journal of Sports Science, Journal of Nutrition, Clinical Journal of Sports Medicine, Sports Medicine Journal, American Journal of Sports Medicine, Journal of Physiology, etc. And then we interviewed selected health professionals dealing with athletes to find out what worked for them, what benefits did they see being needed, what benefits and needs were not being met by products. So we talked to fitness trainers, sports chiropractors, exercise physiologists, orthopedic surgeons, triathletes, marathoners, and even weightlifters and bodybuilders to just get a background of everything. And what we do here, Mark, is we zero-base everything. So we're starting off with a clean slate and building all these products from zero. Next, number 4, what is the label claim for each active ingredient? So we must list all the ingredients. We must add, can we add branded ingredients that have research behind them so we can allow, we can make claims citing their scientific data. And some of those, bioperin is a brand name. It's a trademarked ingredient that we're able to use their research. 5, what is the desired dosage form? How should it be packaged? We've already talked about, we decided on a proprietary powder mix that accommodates all the varied amounts of ingredients to assure efficacy. 6, and Mark, this is something I know you touched on while I was difficulty, was who do we choose for production? In addition to quality control and quality assurance, we require independent third-party testing to verify our formulas. You talked all about that. I'm not going to go back into that. All of our manufacturings are required to comply with standards for product, ingredient, and safety. And in sports nutrition, our manufacturers with us to assure customers are free of the more 180 that are banned or prohibited by World Anti-Doping. And then lastly, this is something you know is last at IDLife, is how much does it cost? Very often, formulators are faced with how much does it cost to start with. You design the product to fit a particular price so that the company can sell it at a whatever price they want and get a high margin. At IDLife, it's not that we don't care about the price, we don't have a price target. IDLife starts with the science, and there's no move to source any alternate materials or adjust ingredient levels that might be lower cost, but because it would also lower effectiveness. We choose the best product. If the price is higher than a competitor, it knows that our members, our customers will understand the value and understand that, you know, the core values of IDLife has in their formulation and manufacturing process. So, Mark, I can put that, I have all that typed up for you. We can put that under an FAQ maybe, or present it at some future meeting maybe. Can you hear me?
And, in October and help that new associate earn their 3 and free by November 30th, and you can earn $300 in bonuses total. First you've ever done, $300 bonus for the entire field. Obviously, we had the same bonus for our ID Revolution attendees only last month, but now we've extended it to the field. Second is for every new associate, there's a sample pack incentive. You sign up an associate, they join in October, and they receive 5 free sample packs. If that same associate also registers for ID Revolution, they're going to receive an additional 5 sample packs. You guys know what the value of those sample packs are. In essence, it's our way of trying to get them started right and go through the protocols that Logan and Scott and Daryl and all the rest are teaching with regard to how to sample and make it a habit. And then, of course, we've extended the Revolution April registration fee of $59.99 out to the end of this month as well. So make sure that you take advantage of that. In addition, obviously, we have the link out there that you can use. Remember, if you have a new associate that has just signed up and they want an additional 5 sample packs, all they have to do is go register for sample packs. You can do the math. In essence, they get all of their money back plus some just by simply registering and getting in attendance. And the number of people that have already registered for Revolution is already blowing us away. I mean, this Revolution is going to be huge, and I want sure that everyone has an opportunity to see the growth that a lot of the teams that were well represented month and this month directly to that. Obviously, we still have the run for the our top 10. It is going to be close. If you received an email say then you are within reach on this boat with Logan and Haley Stout. So do all the things that Logan has talked and getting an opportunity to go on this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. In addition, we also have our incentive trip, our spring incentive trip that we're running, 7-night Eastern Caribbean cruise. All of that is on the point system, as you know. Those audited points real soon, so that people can kind of see where they are. But we have a ton of people that are already more than halfway there, with months still to go. So we're very excited about the excitement about this cruise. We're very excited about the opportunity to take, any number of our associates on this type of trip with us, and we cannot wait until we have an opportunity to see how many people qualify. For me, I want to make sure that everyone gets to that free number. So, keep building, keep running, keep doing what you have to build those points. Obviously, here is your point chart. It is available in your back office as well as the other charts. All of this information is available in your back office. In addition to that, a lot of the products that we talked about tonight, the FAQs, other information are already in your back office. A lot of the marketing materials are already in your back office. And I talked about a couple of things tonight with regard to the formulating process of IDLife as well as the development goals for each of the products. We're going to be putting those out as well, so you can have a clear picture of what our intent and what our purpose was, and those 4 product coming events. Advantage of that, we'll get an opportunity to visit the corporate office if you haven't been there. It's an unbelievable build out, and people are just raving about how easy it is to tell people what IDLife is and what ID Nutrition is by being able to see it. It's a great place to meet. Take advantage of the fact that Logan's going to be there tomorrow night. And then, of course, we have all kinds of events going on all over the country. And, of course, Logan is going out to Florida this week. Looks like he's going to be in Boca Raton on the 14th. He's going to be in Riverview on the 15th. He's going to be in Orlando on the 16th. It's unreal. And then, of course, on the 18th, boot camp in Annapolis, Maryland, put on by a lot of the great leaders that we have up in that area, along with all the other great events that we have coming up this week. So make sure that you're checking the calendar, getting plugged in, and getting those events. Build to those events. Remember what Logan taught. Everything is event to event. Make sure you're moving event to event. Get people in these locations. If you know people in the I'm there. So and then, of course, next Sunday night's webinar is all about rank promotions and emerging leaders. I want to make sure that everyone is on that call. Let's fill up the lines. We want to make sure that everyone this month. And, of course, emerging leaders and what they're doing in those areas is always of getting those people on the phone and getting them to explain it. I want to thank everyone for being on the webinar tonight. And also make sure that if you haven't done so already, that you text Join IDLife to 94033 so that you're getting the latest and greatest information from IDLife. Again, thanks for everyone for being here.